Hi, my name is Ed Diaz, and today we're going to learn how to create layers and splits on the Roland Juno-Gi. Creating layers and splits is very easy to do, and once we go through it, I think you're going to come up with some of your own great layers and splits using the Roland Juno-Gi. What is a layer and a split? So let's explain that first off. A layer is taking two or more sounds, and layering them on top of each other. So say a common layer that we'll probably do this today is maybe take a piano sound and layer it with a string. So instead of you just playing a piano sound, you'd be playing a piano and string simultaneously, and that'll help you get a really nice full sound. Okay. Now what a split is we can take let's say we want to do a piano and a bass. And I'm just saying piano and bass because that's pretty common, but you could split whatever you want. We could take a piano on one side of the keyboard and a bass on the other side. So that way it's like playing two keyboards at the same time, but totally different instruments. Okay, so let's go ahead and make our own right now. The first thing we need to understand when creating a layer and split on the Juno-Gi is that on previous Roland keyboards you used to have a single mode or a live mode, or a patch mode, or a performance mode. Now on the Juno-Gi, that's all integrated into one mode. So say for instance in this sound, the 88 key grand, if I were just to play this sound by itself, let's go ahead and hold down the preview button and let's see what we hear. Which that sounds very good. It's just a piano by itself. Now, a great thing on this keyboard, if I hold down the shift button, which is just right here, hold down the shift button, you see that I have a couple of options. It says U1, U2, L1, L2, and that stands for upper 1, upper 2, lower 1, lower 2. So let's go ahead and press lower 1. So now we just turned on another sound within this particular live set. So now let's play that same preview again. So as you can hear, it's a fuller sound. Rather than there just being only piano, now we have a piano and a string. Let's go ahead, hold down the shift button again. Remember, it's just right here. And we see some other options. Let's press number 2 and see what it sounds like now. So now it's even fuller. Let's go ahead and hold down the shift button and see what sounds make up this live set of the 88 key grand. So just hold down the shift button. You see I have all my uppers and my lowers, but it says live set. So go ahead and press that, and that is number 5 here, the strings orchestra. So press that, and we see right here that I have the 88 key grand, which was my upper 1. That was the native tone that was in there. When I pressed the lower 1, that brought in the strings 5, which we heard immediately, which gave us a fuller sound, and then we brought in the mood strings. So now you see that the Juno-Gi, rather than having just one sound playable, you can have up to 4 sounds playable. So let's go ahead and make our own sound from scratch. Hold down the shift button again, and let's press the number 6 button, the brass win, and that corresponds with the initialize, I-N-I-T. So press that. So what's going on here is it's going to go ahead and clear out this live set. It's not erasing it, but it's giving us a blank space to work in. So let's go ahead and press 5, which is execute. And the live set is cleared out so I can create my own live set. So it gave us two basic pianos and the mood strings. And if we were to press the exit button, which is right here, we see that it says initialize live set. So let's create something. Let's go ahead and hold down the shift button again to get into the live set. Or, let me go ahead and exit. I could press the menu button, live set edit, and press the enter button, which is right here. And I get to the same spot. Okay, so it's up to you how you want to drive the keyboard. So if you rather just hold down the shift button or press menu, you can do either one. So first off, let's go ahead and figure out what we're going to use for our upper sound. The piano's fine, but let's go ahead and press the enter list button, which is just to the right over here. And this brings up the list of sounds. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and check out the pianos, but let's use something else besides the piano. Remember, if you see an arrow, You can use your cursor buttons, which are right here, the arrow buttons. Cursor to the right, I see pop piano now, electric grand piano, electric pianos. This is a good common instrument to use for this example, so we're going to go ahead and use this. Now remember, if I'm not sure how this sounds, I can always either play it or hold down the preview button. And then just keep on going until I find one that I like. Let's go ahead and use that electric piano 3. So now that I have this, press the enter button, which is just to the right. Now that's in there. Now let's go ahead and choose a different sound. Maybe let's use a string. So I'll press the enter list button just to the right. Now that we've brought up the tone list, let's go ahead and press 5, which is our string orchestra section. If I press it more than once, I can go into the subcategories. So I'm in the strings orchestra, so there's the strings, here's the orchestra. So let's go ahead and find a different strings. Let's go ahead and listen to this pop string. Hold down the preview button. That's fine. Let's go ahead and press the enter button. So now that we have both the electric piano and the pop strings together, let's go ahead and put them in the keyboard so we can have them play at the same time. So I'll go ahead and press the level plan button, and you see it says switch. So I'll go ahead and cursor to the right and highlight the switch, and then I'll turn my dial wheel to the right. Now let's go ahead and hold down the preview button and let's hear them both together. Okay, so let's exit now and let's press preview. And there they are. If we hold down shift, we see we have the upper and lower together, right in there. Let's go back into the live set edit. Now that we have them both on, let's exit and let's play. Now what if I wanted to switch to piano very quickly? How would I do that? I'm going to hold down shift, press live set. Let's go ahead and go back to tone, and let's put a piano in here. So remember, press the enter button right over here, and I'm going to go ahead and press number 1, which is piano, and we'll just choose a piano. And let me exit right now. So if I'm playing live and I have this very nice layer of, remember, upper 1 was the electric piano, upper 2 was the string, and say I want to bring in the piano, all I have to do to bring it in is hold down shift, and it was an L1. Now listen. Okay, what if I want to take out the electric piano and only have the string and the piano together? Well, I hold down the shift button and I just unselected it from the upper 1, and now listen. Now let's go ahead and say I wanted to take away the piano and I only want to hear the string. Hold down the shift button, now press L1, which is where we put our piano, and let's play. Very quickly, by pressing the shift button, I can decide what instrument that I want to have play immediately. So let's go ahead and take out that piano, and we're back to where we were with the electric piano and string. Hold down the shift button, let's take out the string and use the electric piano. So now you can see the Juno-Gi allows us to switch sounds within a live set very quickly just by holding down the shift button and selecting the sound that we want to hear. Now what about the levels of the sounds? Maybe that string is a little bit loud and I want to turn it down. Easy way to do that would be to hold down the shift button to go into the live set. Now all I have to do is press number 2, which corresponds to level and panning. And all I have to do is use my cursor over to the level, and I can easily adjust. Okay? And here we hear it. I'm holding down the notes. And I can easily adjust the volume or the levels between the two instruments very quickly. And that's all that we have to do to create our own layer in the Juno-Gi. Now, if we wanted to save or write the layer that we created, all we would have to do is press the write button. And if we just look over to the right, just to the right of the dial wheel, you see the right button. So press this button, and now we see a screen come up, and it asks us what do we want to name it. I can easily go in now and just spin the dial wheel to whatever I want, and I might call this one, just to save time, I might just call this Ed Layer. So I can just spin the dial wheel and find the letter. Okay, if I want to make it lowercase or uppercase, I can press the cursor down or up to change if it's uppercase or lowercase. Or I could also go in and just find the uppercase and lowercase. Just scroll till I get there, but this way saves time. And if I don't want that letter there, I can always press delete, and now I have it. Okay, and once I have it, I can press next and choose where I want to put it. And remember, I have plenty of user spots available. So I have 256 user spots where I can save my custom live sets. In this case, my layer. So I'll go ahead and put it maybe on number 1, but wait a minute, there's already something there. If there is already a live set there and we're not sure if we want to overwrite that, we can go ahead and press compare, which is number 4. And we could decide if we want to get rid of that. If I'm not sure, I can cursor down to the next one. And maybe to the next one. There's nothing there and initialized. I can say great. And I go ahead and press the right 6. It asks me, am I sure? Execute. And now that live set is saved on my user. Don't worry about experimenting with presets and editing them. You cannot overwrite presets. You cannot overwrite presets. When you try to overwrite a preset, it goes immediately to a user. Okay, so don't be afraid to experiment. Now let's go ahead and create a split. So once again, no matter where we are, we can hold down the Shift button, press Live Set, and all we have to do now is hold down the Shift button again and initialize the current sound that we're in, the current live set. So I'll go ahead and press 5, which corresponds with execute, and we have a blank template to work on. And just to prove it, I'll press the exit button and you see another initialized live set. So let's go ahead and Shift, live set, go in. Now this time let's go ahead and create a split. So now let's cursor up, make sure I'm in the tone section, press the enter list button, which is just right over here. And let's do a common split, which we'll go ahead and have piano. Let's change the piano. Let's do an 88 key stage piano. And if you're not sure how it sounds, remember, press the preview button. If you like that, press the enter button, which is just right over here. Great. So now we have that in here. Now let's go down to the lower one, and you could do this in the lower one or the upper one or upper 2, doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and put a bass. So once again, let's press the enter list button, and let's find our bass category, which is number 3. Great. Now look, there are arrows, so if I press the arrow to the right, I can see electric bass, synth bass, cursor back, electric bass, acoustic bass, or I could have just pressed 3 multiple times and that would switch the subcategories for me. So let's go ahead and choose an electric bass. If I'm not sure what the bass sounds like, once again, okay, and we're going to go ahead and use maybe that fingered bass too. Once I like that sound, I'll go ahead and press the enter button, which is right over here again, and now they're both in there. Okay, let's go ahead and exit and just take a look. Exit one time just so you can see. Actually, now that we have both of those together, let's turn them both on in the keyboard, in the key bed, the keys, because right now all we're hearing is the piano. Well, we need to hear the bass. So let's go to level pan, and you see the switch is only on for number 1. Let's go ahead and turn on the switch for number 3, which is where our bass is, or lower 1. Cursor over. Now we should be able to hear piano and bass. So let's play. Now they're both on together. Now we need to split the two instruments. So I'll go ahead and press the keyboard section, which is number 5. So I'll press number 5, which corresponds to keyboard. And this is where I can decide where I want my split to be on the key bed. Let's go ahead and cursor up, and we can see right here, keyboard range lower. I'm just spinning the dial wheel. Keyboard range upper. Okay, so this first one is the piano. Remember that. So let's go ahead and adjust where these are. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and put my piano. I'm going to have this adjusted, and I'm going to put this one on F3. So now I hear piano and bass, but now there's just bass. Now I'm going to cursor down into the lower one, which is where my bass is, and I'm going to adjust that upper part, and I'm going to bring this one right next to F3. I don't want them matching. I want it on the next one below it, so I have a definite split in the keys. So now you should be able to hear it. Here's the F, definitely piano, and now here's the bass, which is on E3. And if we take a look at the keys, here's what I did. So here's the piano, here's the bass. Very, very nice, very quick. So very easy to do that. Let's go ahead and take a look back at our screen. Now that I have that split ready, all I have to do now is save it. So once again, do you remember what we have to do? Press the right button right here. And now we can go ahead and name it what we want. And once again, use your cursors and your dial wheel, and we can go ahead and adjust what we want to have it. Maybe I want to go ahead and delete these, but I'll go ahead and insert a spot right here, and I might call this one my split. Okay, Ed split right here. And remember to do lowercase. All I have to do is push the cursor, the down arrow. Okay, and I'll go ahead and change this one to save time right here. So Ed split. Great. So now that we have this, all we have to do is press the next button, and we just need to save it in here. So there was already one there, and if you're not sure if that's the same one, press compare. Remember, that's the first one we did. Let's go ahead and cursor down. That's a free spot, and let's press number 6, which is the right button. And now it's written into the Juno-Gi, so I have a bass piano split. And if I go to user 3, that is, remember, where I have my layer, which was, we have electric piano, string, and a piano. So here's the electric piano and string. Now I'll take off number 1, the upper one. Now it's just string. Hold down the shift button again. Now it's string and piano. Hold down the shift again. Now it is just piano. So very easily I can go ahead and switch between the different patches in that live set. Alright, so I hope this helps you guys out a lot. Please experiment making your own layers and splits on the Juno-Gi, and I think you're going to have a lot of fun creating your own sounds.